2/3 of the planet's surface is occupied by the ocean, which is the main driving force for its balanced and sustained development over millions of years. The marine and coastal ecosystems offer production, regulatory, support and cultural services of major importance for mankind. Thus, the marine environment offers huge potential for the well-being and quality of life of society. However, the increase of anthropogenic pressures on the ocean and on coastal areas, in parallel with climate change, has led to the deterioration of the quality and resilience of coastal and marine environments. The marine challenges of the sea require the existence of institutions with adequate scientific, technical and innovative capacities and effective management tools, as well as additional efforts of cooperation and vertical and horizontal articulation between all levels of government and society.
The cycles of progress of the city of Aveiro were always strongly related with the capabilities of using fishing, salt and commerce activities related with the sea.
Since its beginning, the University of Aveiro strategy and mission has been moulded by the regional background, highly committed with development based on innovation and scientific and technological knowledge.
Aveiro is a beautiful town sitting on the edge of a beautiful lagoon, and for a very long time, since its beginning, the University of Aveiro has had interests in the area of marine sciences and coastal sciences.
University of Aveiro research distinguishes itself by its multidisciplinary nature, from basic sciences to engineering, framed by sustainability and applied to the economy and governance. Coastal, marine and maritime research is a topic in several of the University of Aveiro research centres. The creation of AIMare is in line with the European strategy for coastal, marine and maritime research.
The creation of the Aveiro Institute for Marine Science and Technology will be certainly very useful as a unifying platform for the integration and coordination of all the university skills related to the sea.
A wide integration of knowledge and research is crucial for shaping new governance approaches, promoting stakeholder consensus and establishing a continuous dialogue among scientists, political decision makers and the public and private sectors of society. The University of Aveiro's commitment to society is well expressed by the development of the project AIMare, Research for Innovation and Sustainability of the Economy of the Sea.
AIMare will be a unique infrastructure in Portugal and one of the few in the world that can integrate applied science, wildlife conservation and dissemination of scientific knowledge.
AIMare will be developed around 5 strategic areas. Marine ecosystems provide essential goods and services that are an essential part of the wealth and well-being of mankind. Given the complexity of marine processes, it is essential to have sustained programs of observations, to monitor the quality of the marine environment, and to develop innovative model systems that help mankind to mitigate the impacts of global change.
Macrobenthic communities are a prime element in our studies, focusing on the biological and ecological effects associated with disturbance agents, either of natural or anthropogenic origin.
Under the EcoSol Atlantis project, a large research team of the University of Aveiro tried to adjust this traditional product. So we find that it's not only the product itself who is right now important, but also the salt pans who are quite interesting for ecotourism.
So physical oceanography is science which deals of the study of the ocean properties like temperature, current, salinity and its distribution.
Within the EU project NanoFate, we have gained knowledge on the effects and fate of nanoparticles in the environment. Mainly what we study is the effects that nanoparticles induce to organisms. We are using as a test model as a fish species, and we are evaluating how the embryos are behaving when they are exposed to nanoparticles.
We have several works going on related with the evaluation of the contamination of the marine environment. Mainly the evaluation of the contamination of fishes.
The increases in world population and affluence are putting an enormous stress on exploited biological resources. Solving this problem requires novel ways to think about natural resource management, to develop alternative methods for marine food production, and to find new bioproducts for medicinal and technological use.
Our EZ is one of the largest one in the world, and most of it is under the domain of the deep sea. Some of these ecosystems that we study are important, for instance, as areas of oil and gas exploration and for fisheries also.
We've been working with the development of new techniques to try to find out more products that are produced by marine invertebrates, namely bioactive products that can be used in the pharmaceutical industry. So we have been working with corals from tropical reefs, and we have been producing them in captivity in trying to modulate the ways to induce the production of interesting bioactive substances.
So our research areas focus on the sustainable use of marine resources and also on the use of cetaceans as marine ecosystem health indicators. We have the MARPRO LIFE project, which is called the Conservation of Marine Protected Species in mainland Portugal, and it mainly deals with the definition of new Natura 2000 areas. This project has a very important side, which is the mitigation measures in fisheries.
Onshore mineral and energy resources are quickly becoming exhausted, but many of these exist in very significant quantities in the ocean floor and subsea floor. Offshore mineral and energy resource exploitation is therefore one of the main challenges for the 21st century.
Thalassotherapy is literally the therapy by sea products. Seawater is the most common marine resource used for therapeutic practices. However, other products based on marine materials are being developed with potentialities to be used on behalf of human health.
We've been working in the Madeira Torres area, where we've been looking at cobalt-rich crusts. So these are iron manganese crusts rich in cobalt. We've also been looking at massive sulfides in the Azores area, and we've been looking at phosphorites and finally at sand and gravel areas offshore Portugal. We've been looking at gas and gas hydrates, particularly in the South Iberian margin, where we found lots of mud volcanoes, where we have good evidence of gas escape, particularly gas of thermogenic origin, which indicates that in depth you have probably hydrocarbon reservoirs.
There is a growing need for specially dedicated technologies, new materials and sensors for offshore investigation, assessment and monitoring. The development of these new technologies requires innovative engineering solutions, coupled with a strong knowledge of maritime operations and the conditions at sea.
We are working in the direction of so-called anti-fouling coatings, which are very important for marine industry and which will decrease negative impact of fouling and biocorrosion, which is very important for marine industry.
One project that was developed with the Portuguese Navy that was related to indoor and outdoor location for persons and also utilities. Well, the other project that we are starting now is on how to deliver high-speed internet access or data rate communications for boats.
Another research line is related to the identification and characterization of chemical compounds from deep sea organisms, where they have very different living environments, and it's expectable to have many different compounds with possible different biological activities. Since these organisms live in the deep sea under pressure, we also want to use our high-pressure multidisciplinary platform to simulate deep sea environments and to grow these organisms.
Here we developed several optical sensors with capability to measure several physical and chemical and mechanical parameters in hazardous or corrosion environments like the marine.
Marine and coastal zone planning and governance aims to manage the existing and potential marine functions, uses and activities. These processes aim to control the sustainable development of the coast and to recognise threats and risks to marine and coastal areas posed by natural and anthropogenic processes and global change.
Our main issues of research actually are the coastal flooding, the impact of the stream plumes and upwelling events in the coastal adjacent areas, as the study of the impact of the oil spill accidents, essentially in the Rio de Aveiro lagoon.
My research focuses on ecology of deep sea ecosystems, namely on the reproductive ecology of invertebrates, and as well to study connectivity between these ecosystems. Connectivity on its own is important to design marine protected areas, for example, and then other marine spatial planning.
We carry out risk assessment studies according to a source pathway receptor model, because for a hazard to become a risk, all three, source, pathway and receptor, are needed and have to be linked.
The priorities of the European Union for the next years, envisioned by Europe 2020, are aligned with the commitment to an intelligent, sustainable and inclusive growth based on knowledge and innovation. In this sense, seas and oceans with vast resources and their largely unexplored biodiversity provide a high potential field to be developed, being a key source of growth and jobs for the coming decade.